Okay, hello everybody. My name is Leslie Williams. Today's date is April 14th, 2015. And this is going to be what is known as an educational video. And I'm going to make a personal notation here real fast. Title this YouTube video by the upload date: Learning Disabled Woman Exposes UCSD Human Trafficking Gangstalking. This video is an educational video, and it's going to have some predictions in it as well. Now, I have a really bad cold right now, so just bear with me. And I'm going to make another statement. If I have any regular viewers out there, which I believe I do, because of how I'm noticing that a lot of my videos are being posted by other people who are exposing what's happening to me as well, I want everybody to know, first-time viewers and any regular viewers I have, or intermittent viewers, to know that some of my videos may appear to where some of my videos are made under extreme duress. So also sometimes when I make videos, I have to talk real fast in order to be able to condense as many details as possible as a result of having limited video time left on the memory card in the camera. And a lot of videos are made under extreme duress that I'm experiencing either in real time or as a result of accumulated stress that is built up over time within current because of current events that is not only inducing the stress, but also stress that has become accumulated as a result of what I went through just in maybe that week or the whole entire month as a result of me being a target victim and activist concerning gang stalking. And I also want to just make a last fast statement about that. I make my videos when I have a quiet, when I'm by myself, okay? And usually when I'm by myself, I'm having to deal with my camping gear. And I'm going to have to include this statement as well. Only 4 times out of 100 is my tent still up, okay, after an hour after I wake up. In other words, 96 times out of 100, it's already taken down within an hour after I wake up. And the only reason why it's not taken down today is because I am suffering through a major cold right now. I can barely hear myself talk, and my ears are so plugged up. So, I just wanted to throw that notation in there because recently I looked at a couple of my videos that I just published online, I think around March 30th, and I was talking pretty fast. I was talking, it's because I was under extreme duress. And so if it appears that I'm like, it's just stress. Okay, alright, so let me get into the subject matter pertaining to this video. And I am making this video as I'm taking a break. And just let me I'm going to make this other statement here. Now, I am going to have to talk fast in this video because this is definitely going to be an educational video. It's going to be a video so I can educate my fellow target individuals about, because a lot of target individuals are traumatized, even extremely severely. As a result, a lot of targets are walking around in a traumatized effect. As a result, they're possibly having their moments where they're not 100%, where they're not thinking completely clearly. And as a result of being a gang stalking victim, these filthy perpetrators who are perpetrating these criminal realities that are in the system, in their dedicated states and counties, they make sure that the target individual is constantly kept mentally aware that they're being gang stalked. And so that distracts them from their purposeful thinking. And so, anyways, what I'm going to do is just take one more extra minute here. Let me just take a puff off my cigarette. I apologize for smoking. I know it doesn't look very classy, but okay. If you're an organized stalking, gang stalking target, or you suspect a family member is, or was, or a friend, or whatever, one of the main things that they do against an organized stalking, gang stalking target individual is make us homeless. Okay? Organized stalking, gang stalking is the same exact crime, it just goes by different names. You can Google and YouTube these terms. So, if they make you homeless, and they're also going to covertly blacklist you from employment if you're able to work. They're also targeting people on disability as well, and senior citizens. So they're basically targeting anybody and everybody that they can do it to and get away with it with the least amount of blowback, trouble. So if you find yourself, even if you're not homeless, what I'm doing, let me just share with you one small tidbit of what I'm doing, because they're targeting my finances right now, and they're going to do it to make it appear that my Social Security was taken away through normal appearing reasons or mishaps. This right here is 3 16-ounce bags of brown rice. Okay, after I put them in this bottle, excuse me, it's a 64-ounce bottle of cranberry juice, great cranberry. After I put the 3 bags of 3 1-pound bags of brown rice in this bottle, I put my mouth on the opening of it, sucked out the air, and then immediately put the cap on, and then put electrical tape around it. And what I'm going to do then, after I'm done making this video, is I'm going to put it in a I'm going to put it in one of these durable plastic bags, and then I'm going to put it in a brown bag like this that blends in well with your hiking area, and then I'm going to camouflage it. Now, rice only usually costs about $1.18 per bag, and if you just maybe have 8 ounces per serving, and maybe even 4 to 6 per serving, this should be able to this could last you up to a week, okay, of at least 1 meal a day. Okay, so this is just my way of saying, and then you can hide these at different spots. Okay, so my opinion to anybody, you don't even have to be an organized stalking, gang stalking, and these plastic containers are very durable. Okay, so it keeps the rats out and so on and so forth. And by double and triple bagging them, it keeps them from being able to even smell it. And trust me, animals do have very good nostrils. Now, just one more last sidebar concerning this. And anybody can do this. You don't have to be an organized stalking target to do these kinds of things. Go to YouTube and go to Google and type in bushcraft survival YouTube videos. Homemade shelters, learning how to build safe camping fires if that's what you have to do. I'm not going to say if I'm doing that or not, because I know the perpetrators will use anything I say against me because they're nothing but criminals. But you can learn survival skills in reference to camping, hiking, what you need to do to keep your property safe, how to survive very cheaply, and how to keep your property safe by going to YouTube and Google and typing these terminologies in. Now, what is the purpose of this particular video? Hold on, 1 second. Just rechecking my batteries to make sure I'm doing okay and keeping on track of the time that's expired so far. The purpose of this video, its subject matter, is going to be 2 things. Exposing to the public and to organized stalking, gang stalking, target individuals what I know in part concerning a few of the methodologies that are brought about against gang stalking targets by the perpetrators who perpetrate these criminal realities. And I'm also going to make some predictions in this video as well. Now, and I'm going to be smoking a cigarette while I'm doing this, and if any kids are watching this, you're not allowed to smoke. Hold on 1 second. Now, what I'm going to do is illustrate to you some things that I have literally experienced, and I'm not afraid to share them, and I'm not afraid of the perpetrators in the system attempting to call me crazy as a result of what I state. Just bear with me and you'll understand as I continue to talk. Now, in organized stalking, gang stalking expeditions, one of the huge aspects of their campaigns is to sensitize the target to a specific type of stimuli. Now, I have you can go to Google and YouTube and clearly research anchoring and sensitization together concerning what it is, and then take my statements that I describe concerning it and understand, please, what I'm describing is not the entire scope of anchoring or sensitization methods or dark neurolinguistic programming techniques or the direct conversation tactic, which they can pretty much enmesh together in the harassment of the target, the mental and psychological violence that they perpetrate against the targeted individual. Now, when you look at, and I'll just make one more sidebar notation here, when you consider how a targeted individual is harassed mentally every day, everywhere they go, coupled with periodic assaults, including rapes, periodic falsified arrests, including even petitioning the target in a county mental health or an area neighborhood hospital psychiatric floor, making them homeless, and wrecking every other aspect of their life, like going after their credit, going after their finances, infiltrating families and friends of the targeted individual, isolating the target. All of these descriptions can be Googled and YouTubed and cross-referenced to organized stalking and or gang stalking. Now, what I'm going to talk about right now in this video is part of the method of what is called anchoring, dark neurolinguistic programming, and sensitization methods. So you can see how they intentionally will anchor and form a mental association in the target's mind to a person, to the gang stalking, to a place, okay, and to the end result of a crime that happens to a target as the crime is transpiring and the effect of it. And I'm going to just dive right into it right now. Hold on. I'm going to explain to you right now what they did to me at Ross grocery store, at pretty much basically everywhere I go, but I'm going to be specific a little bit. Ross Grocery Store in La Jolla off of La Jolla Village Square Drive. UCSD, everywhere on campus, but mainly at Club Med Restaurant, the Sunshine Market, and the Biomedical Library. And I did experience these crimes also as well in the Geisel Library and at bus stops. Okay, now, also at SDSU, Love Library, and on their campus, college stores, the food court, and so on and so forth. I experienced this in my bank. I experienced this in post offices, at social services. Do I experience it at Social Security? So here it goes. Here's the explanation. Now, hold on. Now, what I'm going to show you right now are some of the methods of sensitization methods and how they will anchor the stimuli so you become sensitized to what they're anchoring. So here we go. Part of the methodologies of sensitization methods is to anchor either, but not limited to, a word, a phrase, a sound, a physical gesture, a color, even certain types of vehicles, but they can sensitize you to pretty much anything. So what I'm going to do is give you a few fast examples of what you can become sensitized to as a result of being a gang stalking victim. Some of the physical gestures are, but remember, only some, okay, are this. Stroking the hair back, putting one arm behind the back, one arm on that stomach. No lips, yeah, where they will have people walk by you and go like this. Okay. How they will walk by you, especially men, and go like this. Okay. Specific ways of coughing, clearing your throat. That's the coughing, is clearing your throat. They will even attempt to sensitize the target to sneezing. Now, they do this by combining, like say once you become sensitized to people also pointing is another method, a method of sensitization. So what they'll do is they'll combine and make sure that they anchor multiple different sensitizations to you. Every single thing that I've described in this video are things that they have me sensitized to. Okay, now also let me just interject something here real fast. If you are a gang stalking victim, okay, or know somebody who is, you can also go to Google and type in sensitization and then bring up, not just bring up what targets are talking about concerning how they're being harassed with sensitization methods, but you can also type in at Google sensitization, the psychology of sensitization. And then once you make some printouts, research it and then print it out, then go to Google and type in the psychology of desensitization. So you can learn how to desensitize yourself to what they have sensitized you to. They will also get around you and repeat certain words and phrases and then combine them with other ones to eventually sensitize you to those as well. They're getting around me and along all my routes and saying gang stalk, crazy, weird, suck my you know what, is she crazy, and other vile shit. And I'm going to prove it to you in this video. Now, one of the ways that they, I'll get to the additional intention of why they sensitize you to these campaigns, but one of the ways that they intentionally sensitize you to multiple different things is by combining what you've been sensitized to. First though, like what they'll do is anchor an association to a traumatic event. That can be one of the ways that they'll intentionally sensitize you to something. Or it can be done just through simple non-stop repetitiveness that you experience along all your routes every day. Once they know that they have you sensitized to one thing, they will then start combining it with a second, and then a third, and then a fourth, and so on and so on. That way you become sensitized to everything that they sensitize you to. Like all the different things I showed you in reference to the sounds, the coughing and clearing the throat, sneezing, I guess. Even certain types of like sexual sounds like okay, they'll even get around you and do that. Then the physical gestures that I've already shown you, and remember, they're just some of them. Then the words and phrases that I mentioned. So what they'll do is they'll first sensitize you to one thing, and then once they know that they have once they have reinforced what they anchored, the stimuli, which is the words, phrases, sounds, colors, whatever, they will then reinforce it, in order to make sure that it's anchored in the mind, a mental association has been formed, and then what they'll do is once they know they got you sensitized to that, it's usually 90 days, they will then combine it with another thing to sensitize you to that as well. And then just repeat all these different things along your routes every day. Now, a lot of the physical gestures and the sounds, okay, are basically physical gestures and sounds that everybody makes every day. And that's one of the reasons why they pick, okay, these things to sensitize you to, because then it can blend in with any and all environments you go into, and also so that way they can deny that they're doing it intentionally. Okay, anchoring means that where they anchor in your mind the stimuli being the words, phrases, physical gestures, sounds, and colors, and then once it's anchored through the repetition of constantly reintroducing it to you for you to see and or hear, that they will then, because that's done, the repetition is done to reinforce it in order to create the sensitization. After that occurs, they will then start combining it with additional things to it. Okay? Now this is done to make you feel mentally harassed and because you recognize in your mind that it's intentionally being done as a result of how often you experience these things. It also completely makes you aware that you're being stalked because they got to know where you're at and who you are to do it. Hold on. So this is my way to introduce to the public who might not be aware of sensitization methods and anchoring attached to gangstalking expeditions, but also to show you just this one aspect of what is happening to organized stalking, gangstalking target individuals. Now that I mentioned to you that they've gotten along my routes and repeat gangstalk weird, gangstalk crazy, gangstalk suck my dick. Excuse me for being direct, but I gotta do it. I want you to listen to what these men are saying. They're saying gangstalk together, then one says gangstalking, and then the same one says gang stalking. I'm gonna F you up. Okay, that occurred on November 28, 2013 on Gilman Road, right up the street from UCSD. The same exact identical to a T, except for gang stalk, and I'm gonna fuck you up. They weren't saying that at UCSD, but they were saying gang stalk, oh my god, gang stalk weird. They would walk by and say suck my dick. They would also engage in a lot of the physical gestures. Everywhere I went, all day long, every time I went to UCSD, including the biomedical library staff. And they will lie about it up and down the road and call me crazy concerning it, and that is a method of gang stalking. What you're about to hear now is me being on a bus in Yucca Valley, California 11 months before, okay, on Yucca Valley bus route landers. Do you hear individuals saying gang stalk? You might be able to hear oh my god being said, and then you'll just hear a woman say gang stalking. Okay, now the rape me, that was just another method of dark neurolinguistic programming where they will repeat negative things around you that are completely inappropriate. Now, that's just 2 of over 1,000 audio files I got of it being, oh my god, gang stalk, crazy, weird, suck my dick, being said around me every day, everywhere I go, and that's not including the physical gestures I experience. You can go to YouTube and type in learning disabled woman exposes gang stalkers admitting sent to harass, read comments. I literally caught 3 separate students from UCSD on 3 separate dates within 4 days of each other, admitting they were put in my physical presence to engage in these physical gestures, which I was already all over the internet before they were caught, stating that they were happening to me. Now, fellow American citizens, here's another reason why sensitization methods are intentionally brought about towards the organized stalking, gang stalking target. Because menticide, okay, is another huge aspect of what they're attempting to do to the target. In order to make a human being feel victimized, traumatized, re-victimized, re-traumatized, powerless, helpless, hopeless, and defeated about the abuse they're enduring, the psychological violence, the abuse from the staged assaults, even rapes, the abuse from being illegally made homeless, and then how the syndicated cops who are attached to these criminal realities will use clever schemes to make sure that you're caught camping so you can be thrown in jail. Okay? okay? The point being is that all these things are extreme civil rights abuses. They're all felonies, okay? And all of it is creatively brought about against the target while they make it appear that it's happening through normal appearing reasons and excuses and or because the target did something they weren't supposed to do. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. You just heard 2 of 1,000 audio files of me being harassed 11 months apart in 2 different locations that are 160 miles apart. Yucca Valley is 160 miles from La Jolla, California. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the person I went to go see in Yucca Valley, their address, and all transportation routes getting from La Jolla to Yucca Valley and the transportation routes that I would have to take once I got to Yucca Valley to go to the person's house I went to go see were looked up at the Biomedical Library, the North University San Diego Public Library, and SDSU Love Library. All 3 places were caught in reference to the same exact verbal identical harassment happening around me every single time I went on their campuses and at the North University San Diego Public Library. I even caught the branch manager at that library saying gangstalking after I walked by him when a minute earlier I had said that he was gaslighting me with these gangstalking physical gestures from another room because the room in the computer lab's got glass. I got up to go get my stuff to go outside to have a cigarette. When I got up, I looked up, I seen him do it, so I made a statement in my tape recorder, he's doing it. I then continued to get my stuff, walked out of the room and walked by him, and he said gangstalking. I said the manager right now is gaslighting me. Now you can go to Google and type in gaslighting as a term that describes gangstalking harassment. I said it privately in my tape recorder in the computer lab, then finished getting up my stuff ready, picked it up, walked outside of that room, and as I walked by him, he said gangstalking. Clearly caught on a tape recorder, while other people are also seeing it in the background. Now, this is the same exact identical verbal harassment. They're intentionally repeating the name of the crime around me everywhere I go, every day. Every day. There's not, for one, the word gangstalking is a completely peculiar word. It's not in the regular, everyday verbiage that anybody would state unless a gangstalking target might be talking about being victimized or somebody is intentionally getting around the target as a result of them being placed around the target, achieved through, but not limited to, the tracking, surveillance, and observation of the target. Because they gotta know where you're at in real time to place these people along your routes, walking, bus routes, bus stops, libraries, grocery stores, movie theaters, restaurants, banks, post offices, anywhere. They will intentionally, it's achieved through the tracking of the target. Now, here's another reason why I'm exposing what I'm exposing concerning these sensitization methods. First, what they will intentionally do is make sure that you know that you're being gangstalked, which I've already proven just in these 2 audio files. But let me give you one of the main, also additional reasons of why they're doing it. Not just to make you feel mentally raped and abused on that day, but it's also done to make sure that you know that, like, say if I went into a Jack in the Box. I've been gangstalked at 3 Jack in the Boxes, 2 Arby's, 1 Arby's, 2 Walmarts, and harassed in the same exact identical way, including by employees, management. I've been gaslighted with physical gestures by security guards at business firms. Hold on. Let me check the video time here. Okay, now my battery's starting to flash, so if this video stops while I'm in the middle of talking, it's because the battery ran out, but I should be okay. Now, let me give you an example of one of the additional intentional reasons why this anchoring takes place for the sensitization, okay, for the not just for the psychological violence and mental harassment, okay, and the victimization that comes with it, but it's also done to make sure that you know that, like, say if you walk into a Jack in the Box, and this is happening to you everywhere you go, and then one day you decide to go in a Jack in the Box that you've never been to before. You will go into that Jack in the Box, and as soon as you go in there, including on your routes to it, you will literally be subjected to at least the physical gestures, and 98% sure you'll be subjected to the same exact identical words and phrases being repeated. Tape recorders don't lie. Now, this is done so if you ever go back to that Jack in the Box, what they'll do is make sure that you recognize that it's going to happen to you again and again and again and again every time you go there. Then what they'll do is stage an event to provoke you to act out verbally because you're so frustrated with dealing with the same crap every day. They'll start picking on you about something that's normal, that they might complain about with anybody else. And then you think in your mind, well, they got a lot of nerve picking on me about tossing a napkin 2 feet away from me and accidentally missing the trash can, because you know in your mind that they're engaging in criminal activity towards you every single time you've been in there. Okay? So that's done to provoke you mentally to get you to act out verbally so they can deny the gangstalking and then ban you. This is one of the reasons why they intentionally anchor the association in all these places, so you'll know once they bring about an event in these places to ban you, you know the truth of the matter. It's done to make you feel mentally raped, menacide. Now, think about this. Say if you live, no matter in an apartment complex or in a neighborhood where you have a house, and you know through the grapevine, and or maybe through personal experience, that there's a neighborhood known troublemaker who's where the word has gotten out, where he's broken into people's homes or garages or whatever, stolen bikes, whatever. You're going to make sure that you not only stay away from this person, but keep an eye on him. Is this not true? Of course it is. The point being is this, is that what they want to make sure in gang stalking is that maybe that was kind of a bad analogy. Let me just backtrack for a minute. What I'm trying to say is this, is that what they are trying, oh, okay, well, let me just go back to that. Sorry, I'm having a brain freeze. Just bear with me. See, imagine this person who's a known thief in the neighborhood has got a police officer for a father. Okay, and then he breaks into your home, and you hear through the grapevine that he was the one that indisputably broke into your home. So you call the police. The police come out and say, well, you have no evidence that he did it. Well, I was told that he did it by a very reliable, trustworthy source. Okay, and the police will say, well, I'm sorry, you don't have no evidence of it, so quit calling us. And then he does it again, and then maybe again, over a 3 or 4 year period. And every time you call the police, they start treating you like you're the troublemaker. This is literally what it's like being a gang stalking victim. And worse. Magnify that by 100, and I am not exaggerating. If you can imagine being made homeless, my rent was literally stolen out of the mail that was mailed, certified mail return receipt, USPS post office. It's how they created the homelessness while combining me with a non-stop onslaught of non-stop harassment at that apartment complex and breaking into my home. That's right. So by the time they stole the rent, I just got sick of it and said, screw this. Okay? The point being is this. Imagine, and they don't just do this to you. They stage assaults, rapes, falsified arrest, falsely putting you in a county mental health or an area neighborhood hospital psychiatric floor, then using the homelessness against you to arrest you for illegal lodging. They will also prop up men to camp around you, so you got to move again in order to avoid problems and or your property being stolen. That's what they did to me at my last hiking area. In fact, the one bit audio that you heard on this tape recording, the one where the men were saying gang stalk together, then he said gang stalking, then he said gang stalking, I'm gonna fuck you up. One of those two men were directly connected to at least a group of 4 men that they had propped up to camp out next to me within a week and a half of me moving from an area where Friars and Frazee Road is all the way to La Jolla. See, I made this video to help you understand, to educate you, to inform you. Okay, and I'm also predicting that they're going to ban me from the law library, including tomorrow when I go there, and the North University San Diego Public Library. They're going to arrest me for illegal lodging at this area, and the Ross grocery store at La Jolla Square. And they're going to start targeting my bike as well, including they might even start literally stealing my camping property. My name is Wiliams. This is literally how I have to live on a daily basis. My civil rights, my human rights being violated in ways that you cannot imagine and can. And the reason why I made this video was to inform the public about just this aspect of these criminalities, and to talk to you a little bit about, well, predictions. UCSD, I was gang stalked at that filthy whole red-ass campus every single time I went there, in the same exact way I was gang stalked on SDSU campus and USD. I have no reason to lie. Why would I lie about it? They'll say you're mentally ill. Really? One of the audio files that you just heard, okay, concerning those 2 men saying what they did, was played to at least 6 different police officers, San Diego. They all denied they couldn't hear it. Could you hear it? Fellow American citizens, my name is Wiliams, and I know I keep repeating that, but maybe I do it because you'll know that I am a person. I'm not a subject matter, I'm a person. And the dehumanization that occurs against the gang stalking target is just astronomical. Every single crime that we endure is felonious to the extreme. Okay? Every single crime is a felony. Go to YouTube and type in gang stalking bullying on steroids. Okay, I recently discovered that they made that guy homeless. Now, if you go to Google and type in how they create homelessness of targets, you will clearly see that that is one of their main methodologies. Now, let me just backtrack for a second. You can also go to YouTube and type in similarities between gangstalking and human trafficking. So, why do they stage events at university campuses and at public libraries? Because I am using the computers to upload videos to expose what has happened to me, to expose evidence, and to predict what might happen to me in the future. If they see that I'm doing this, especially predicting what might happen in the future, then they know that people are watching. So what they'll do is stage events and complaints and accusations at these libraries in order to make it appear that they got a normal appearing reason to ban you, or provoke you to act out based on all the accumulated stress you endure along your routes, even the day you go to that library where the event occurs. Because, hold on, because in part they rely on this. Think about this. If you're sitting in a chair and 3, 4, 5 different people, same people or whatever, different people walk up to you and pinch you 30 times in one day, what do you think you're going to eventually do? You're going to start saying stop. Then you're going to start saying please stop. Then you're going to start getting more angry. Okay? Well, that's what they count on. It's why you're mentally harassed in one form or another. And it's not just the sensitization methods that they substitute you every day. You have to constantly be worried about, am I going to be banned from this place today? And what could happen to me as a result of that? Or what other kind of event might they bring about towards me today? Am I going to be arrested? Am I going to be assaulted? Is my property going to get stolen? They keep you in a non-stop anticipatorial anxiety state concerning anything and everything. Absolutely. Using dark neurolinguistic programming techniques. Hold on a second. Let me give you an example of that. When I was at my last hiking area from November 2012 up until November 2014, I was making videos every single day stating that they were putting people up on the sidewalk to say, gang stalking, why don't you come and steal our stuff? And gang stalking, why don't you call the cop center? I also stated in these videos that the homeless men were yelling the same thing. You know, that they had propped up 100 feet away. I also, in a lot of those videos, stated that on 2 separate dates at UCSD campus, that 2 separate students walked by me on 2 separate dates at the UCSD Price Center and said, gang stalking, why don't you go and steal our stuff? Then I caught that event that you heard from my phone concerning those 2 men saying gang stalk together, and then one said, gang of stalking, I'll fuck you up. A threat, while they're saying gang stalk. Right across the very street from where I was making those videos at, 70 feet up the street on the sidewalk. And one of them was directly connected to the group of men that they had propped up 100 feet away. It showed that I was telling the truth about what I was experiencing, and it literally shows UCSD's participation in it, because I'm not a psychic, okay? I cannot say back in 2013 and 14 that 2 separate UCSD students said gang stalking, why don't you go and steal our stuff, a threat while they're saying gang stalking, and then I catch these men say it at the very end of 2013, saying gang stalk, why don't you, I'm gonna fuck you up, a threat while they're saying gang stalk. Do you understand? The point being is that they leave you in a non-stop cycle of mental harassment and fear about what's going to happen to you. Gang stalk, why don't you call the police center? Gang stalk, why don't you call the cop center? Gang stalk, why don't you come and steal your stuff? That's anchoring fear and associating it intentionally to gang stalking, so you'll know that when you get arrested and or when your property's stolen, that it happened because of gang stalking. Gang of stalking, I'll fuck you up. Why do you think they're saying it that way? Anchoring, okay, the mental association, so you know that the reality of the matter concerning what's happening. And the same exact thing concerning UCSD. Constantly making me think what's going to happen today as a result of staged complaints, staged accusations, non-stop overt verbal harassment. Biomedical library staff played a huge role in this, and they will lie about it up and down the road. Absolutely. Okay, so if I'm banned from any of these aforementioned places that I described in this video, I've already been banned from UCSD. They sent me a letter giving absolutely no explanation for it, and even threatened me with the police if I ever show up on their campus again. And I've never done one thing wrong on UCSD campus. Not one thing. I'm in San Diego, California, and my name is Wiliams. I am a human trafficking target. The California State Attorney General was notified, Kamala Harris. She did not do anything about it, and she was sent evidence multiple times on multiple different dates. So was the San Diego DA's office, okay, and the San Diego police. They were tweeted evidence, indisputable evidence. They didn't do a damn thing because they don't care. They are protecting these tax-subsidized universities because of the money they generate to the tax base, which even includes can pay their salaries. Human trafficking is directly connected to gangstalking. Do you really honestly think that they ever wanted to be known on any paper, police report, anything, that I was a victim of this crime on their campus? No, because it'll get out, and then if it really got out, it would affect enrollment. Look at what happened to Penn State because of Jerry Sandusky. Same thing concerning SDSU and USD. These people are nothing but criminal whores. The ones in the system, the prosecutors, the DAs, the California state attorney, they're criminal whores. They take your money, and allow this shit to happen on a daily basis. Okay? Alright, in order to save money and protect the reputation of these places, including even the grocery stores, restaurants, movie theaters, post offices, and everywhere else I endured this crime at. Okay, so, fellow American citizens, you can go to YouTube and type in UCSD and Law Library. Are they networking gangstalking? And look at the evidence that is in that blog. Alright, I gotta go. They're even sending me text messages that they're gonna call the cops on me and have me arrested at my hiking area. This is the kind of bullshit and the way I gotta live on a daily basis. And in closing, how did they know I came to San Diego from Connecticut? How was I gangstalked in Connecticut from Michigan? Interstate stalking is a federal crime. Stealing a person's mail out of the mail is a federal crime, punishable by, I think, at least $5,000 and quite a few years in prison. So why is the federal government not prosecuting the post office employees that engage in gangstalking? It's all over the internet that they do. Google it. So who's really managing this bullshit? It's at the federal, state, and local level. It's a syndicate. And they're operating and using their employment descriptions to achieve their objectives. And using anybody and everybody for their criminalities. I made this video to inform, to expose the truth. And I apologize if it doesn't seem like the best type of video ever made, or how I might appear. But the only thing I can tell you, fellow American citizens, is that I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth. So you can see what's happening to me. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.